Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here today. Let's dive into something that's kind of been all of our minds, which is our energy future. Does renewable energy really equal sustainability? We hear a lot about how solar, wind, and hydropower are the solutions to our energy problems, and while that's a big part of our answer, it's not as simple as it seems. Today, I'm going to walk you through why renewable energy is critical for a sustainable future, and why we all need to be a part of making that future happen. So what is renewable energy? First, let's get on the same page about what renewable energy is. We're talking about sources that are naturally replenished: sunlight, wind, water, and even the earth's heat. And these are resources we don't have to worry about running out of, unlike fossil fuels, which is things like coal. Think of it in this way: renewable energy is like an endless supply of power just waiting for us to use it without harming the planet. So we have things like solar power, where we capture the sun's energy; wind energy, where we use turbines to turn wind into power; hydropower, where water flows through dams to generate electricity; and geothermal energy, which is using the sun's natural heat for energy. These are all examples of clean energy, and they're the future of how we power our homes, businesses, and cities. Next, what is sustainability? We hear this term a lot, but what does it really mean when it comes to energy? Simply put, sustainability means using resources in a way that doesn't take away from future generations. We're looking for energy that's clean, affordable, and available to everybody. When we talk about sustainability and energy, we're focusing on three big things, which is environmental sustainability, keeping our planet healthy; economic sustainability, which is making sure the energy we're using is affordable and keeps our economy strong; then also social sustainability, which is ensuring everyone has access to this clean energy no matter what they are or who they live. Renewable energy checks these boxes. It can be clean, it can be affordable, and it can be available for everyone. But there's more to it than just swapping our fossil fuels for wind turbines. So let's dig into that. Does renewable energy equal sustainability? So that's the big question. The short answer is it can, but it's not exactly that simple. Renewable energy is way better than fossil fuels, no doubt about it. It's cleaner, it's healthier for the planet, and it's more sustainable in the long run. But like anything, it comes with its own set of challenges. Take hydropower, for example. While it's a clean source of energy, it requires huge dams that can flood large areas, displacing people and wildlife. Wind energy sounds great, but building wind turbines involves mining metals, which can have environmental impacts, and it can disrupt local habitats. And solar energy, although it's one of the cleanest options, still requires mining materials for panels, and those panels eventually need to be recycled. If we don't manage that well, we'll create waste. But here's the key point: that these challenges don't mean we should give up on renewable energy. They just mean we need to be smart about it. We can solve these problems through better technology, better practices, and more sustainable designs. But we have to make those changes now. One thing we often forget is that renewable energy isn't just about how much more power we can generate, it's also about how efficiently we can create and dispose of those materials used to generate that power. Take solar panels. Yes, they can provide clean energy, but they're made from raw materials like silicone and raw earth materials, and mining these metal materials isn't perfect. There are environmental impacts there too. But think about this: solar panels last around 20 to 30 years, and during that time, they generate way more energy than it took to produce them. So if we design these technologies with recycling in mind, we can significantly cut down on their environmental impact. Same goes for wind turbines. They need to be made from raw materials too, and when they reach the end of their life, the blades are hard to recycle. But the energy they produce in those 20 plus years more than makes up for it. The challenges here is to keep improving the systems to make them even more sustainable. Let's talk about social and economic factors. Let's not forget that renewable energy is also about people, how we can use it to build better, more equitable communities. The good news: renewable energy can be a huge economic opportunity. Think of all the jobs that will come from building wind farms, solar plants, and developing new green technologies. This is something that could lift entire economies, especially in areas that are struggling economically. But there's also responsibility here. We need to make sure the transition to clean energy doesn't leave anyone behind. Big projects like solar farms and hydropower plants have the potential to displace people or harm ecosystems, and we need to be mindful of that. Renewable energy must be a tool for equity, not division. We need to ensure that everyone from big cities to rural villages has access to clean, affordable energy. One of the biggest challenges we will face with renewable energy is that it's intermittent. The sun doesn't shine all the time and the wind doesn't always blow. That's where energy storage comes in. We need systems that can store the energy we produce when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing and then use it when we need it most. Battery technology, like lithium-ion batteries, is one of the ways we're doing this, but we need to keep innovating. The better we get at storing energy, the more reliable renewable sources come. And once we can store energy effectively, renewable power can truly be available when we need it. Another exciting idea that's gaining traction is the circular economy, which is a concept where we don't just create, use, and throw away. We create products that can be reused, reduced, and recycled. We can apply this thinking to renewable energy too. For example, if we designed wind turbines, solar panels, and batteries with their end of life in mind, we could massively reduce waste. It's not just about generating clean energy. It's about making sure that the energy we use and the products we create are sustainable throughout their entire life cycle. So, does renewable energy automatically equal sustainability? Not yet, but it can. The potential is there, but we need to act. We have the technology, the knowledge, and the opportunity to make renewable energy a cornerstone of the sustainable future. The challenges we face, whether they're environmental, social, or technological, are not insurmountable. They're hurdles we can overcome with innovation, investment, and a commitment to change. Now is the time to get behind renewable energy, to push for better technologies, better practices, in a world where clean energy is the norm, not the exception. We all have a role to play, whether it's supporting policies that promote green energy, pushing for better recycling systems, or simply making more sustainable choices in our own day-to-day lives. We can all make a difference. Let's make the sustainable future we all want to see happen. Let's act now before we run out of time. Thank you so much for your attention. The future is in our hands. Let's make sure it is a future powered by clean, sustainable energy. Thank you. And